Take a piece of thin-wall stainless tube. Try to bend it tight, say a radius equal to its own diameter. Without help, that tube will wrinkle like a soda straw and flatten like a garden hose stepped on by a truck.
And with help?
With help, it comes out smooth, round, and beautiful. A bend so tight and clean, it looks like the tube grew that way. The help is called a mandrel, and today, we're talking about when you need one. Welcome back to Bending Better with Ercolina.
Last episode, you told us about the easy zone and the trouble zone. Thick wall and gentle radius, easy. Thin wall and tight radius, trouble. So the mandrel is the ticket into the trouble zone?
That's exactly what it is. A mandrel is a support that goes inside the tube during the bend, typically a polished steel shaft with articulating balls on the end, like a tiny metal spine. It sits right at the point of bend, inside the tube, and physically holds the wall round while the bend happens around it.
So the tube can't collapse because there's steel inside saying no.
The wall on the outside of the bend still stretches and thins. Physics doesn't take bribes, but the cross-section stays round and the inside doesn't buckle. Add a wiper die on the inside of the bend to smooth out any wrinkle before it can form, and you get bends at 1 times D.
1 times D, break that down.
Centerline radius equal to the tube diameter. 2-inch tube bent at a 2-inch centerline radius. That's an extremely tight bend, impossible in thin wall without mandrel support. Ercolina mandrel machines achieve 1 times D in steel, stainless, aluminum, titanium, brass, and extrusions.
Titanium. So we're not just talking handrails anymore.
This is exhaust and emissions work. Dairy and sanitary tube, aerospace, motorsports, furniture and thin wall stainless. Anywhere the tube is thin, the radius is tight, and the finish has to be flawless.
Okay, the honest question. Mandrel machines cost more and set up slower. How does a shop know it actually needs one instead of just wanting one?
Ask 2 questions about your parts. 1. Is the wall thin relative to the diameter? 2. Is the radius tight relative to the diameter? If both answers are yes, a standard bend will wrinkle, flatten, or collapse, and no amount of operator skill fixes it. If either answer is no, a non-mandrel rotary draw bender is faster, simpler, and cheaper. Most general fabrication never needs a mandrel.
And for the shop that's on the fence, mostly easy zone work, occasional thin wall job?
That's why the 030 megabender exists. It's a 3-inch non-mandrel bender that converts to a mandrel machine with an accessory. Buy it for today's handrail work, add the mandrel kit when the thin wall job shows up. And the TB80 has a mandrel version too, NC semi-automatic to 3-inch with an 1/8-inch wall.
Now walk me up the Ercolina mandrel line for shops that are all in.
2 tiers. The NC semi-automatic machines, the 030 and the TB80 mandrel versions, are for prototypes and small production runs at a lower investment. Then the CNC machines run complete multi-bend parts automatically. The Erco Bender 65 handles to 2.5-inch, the 76 to 3-inch, fully automatic. And then the big dogs, the Giga Benders, GB100 to 4 3/4, GB130 to 5-inch, and the GB200 to 6.5 inches.
6.5-inch mandrel bending. What does the machine have to be structurally to do that?
A tank. The Giga Bender series uses oversized spindle and bearing diameters for maximum rigidity on a heavy steel structure that minimizes vibration. On large profiles, rigidity is the difference between a good bend and a scrapped stick of 5-inch stainless. And 5-inch stainless is not a cheap thing to scrap.
You mentioned once that Ercolina's design beats the swing arm style machines. What's the difference?
On an Ercolina, the bending axis sits directly beneath and supports the pressure die. That eliminates the tie bar and prevents material slippage, and the pressure die is monitored and automatically adjusted through the whole bend cycle, so the pressure stays consistent from degree 1 to degree 180. Consistent pressure, consistent bend.
What about tooling? Mandrel work needs more of it, right?
More pieces, more precision. Bend die, clamp die, pressure die, the mandrel itself, and the wiper. They have to match the tube's exact OD, wall, and radius. This is not a place to guess, which is why we spec the complete mandrel, wiper, and die package for your exact tube when you buy. One phone call with your part print, and the whole kit shows up right.
Recap. A mandrel is internal support. It holds thin wall tube round through a tight bend.
You need one when the wall is thin and the radius is tight. If your bends wrinkle or flatten, that's the signal.
1 times D is the benchmark. Centerline radius equal to tube diameter in steel, stainless, aluminum, even titanium.
NC machines for prototypes, CNC for production, Giga Benders for the big stuff, and the Mega Bender converts for shops that aren't there yet.
Send your part print and material spec to CML USA, and they'll confirm the machine, the tooling, and the price. 563-391-7700.
That's Mandrel bending. Next episode, we leave tight bends behind and roll giant sweeping curves, angle rolls.
Machines in stock in Davenport, Iowa. Call CML USA at 563-391-7700 or visit Ercolina-USA.com.
Bend better, everybody.